All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to uh, Wake Up and Win. That's right, Wake Up and Win with Eric F. King. So today I'm excited because I have some great information to share with you that I have used in my life to transform my life. Okay. Literally, what I'm going to share with you today are things that I have either read or heard people speak about on stage, and I use these principles, and it massively transformed my life. Right. So what I'm going to tell you today can save you years of frustration, years and years, decades of frustration. Because when I learned these skills, I felt like I had a superpower. I felt like, I had an unfair advantage to most of my friends and people I knew. Okay, and this I learned, actually in my early 20s. All right. So the first principle I want to talk about is taking 100% responsibility of your life. So what do I mean by that? A lot of times things happen in our lives and we blame other people for it, right? We blame other people, right? So let's say you apply for a job and you don't get the job, and you blame the company or you blame the person interviewing you. You're like, you know what, she didn't like me, that's why I didn't get the job. Or you start a business and you tell people to come to your business, to come and to open up the business, and most of them don't show up and you blame them. So one thing I found out is when you blame other people for any problems you have, you take away the power you have to make things better, right? So for instance, the job, right? Instead of blaming them for not hiring you, ask yourself, what could you have done differently? Either in the interview, or what could you have done differently to get more interviews, right? Because if one person doesn't hire you, that doesn't mean somebody else won't hire you, right? So what you want to do is you want to be able to um, um, look internally so that you won't make those mistakes. All right. Like I was saying, the first thing that you need to do is take full responsibility of your life, and you have the power when you do that, right? If you blame somebody else, then you have no power because it could never work for you, right? So I'm going to give you an example. So I have 3 sons, and all my sons are athletes. Okay. So, and because of their athletes, I'm always on the soccer field or going for taekwondo like 4 or 5 times a week. Okay, and I'm also a soccer coach. And what happens is I spend a lot of time with them, right, in their sporting activities and traveling. And then I also spend a lot of money because it's not cheap to be in all these travel teams. So I could say that the reason why I'm not able to build my business is because I have kids, and those kids take up my time and my money. So by saying that, I give away all my power to actually take care of my kids and get them to do what they're good at, right? But if I say to myself, because my kids are in sports, I have to make enough money for them to do what they do, and I have to create the time freedom. In other words, I can't have a regular job, or else I can't do what I want to do for my kids, right? So I took full responsibility. I'm not making excuses, and I'm making it happen instead of blaming somebody or making an excuse. All right. So that's very important. Another principle that I've used in life is called failing forward, and this is huge. All right, so you just heard it, you just saw the glitch we had here, right? Now, some people, when that happens, they get dejected, or they're like, oh, this is not working, maybe I need to stop. Let me tell you something. Most things in life don't work when you start. It's just the way it is, right? But you get better as you go, right? And you deal with it by experience. With experience, you get through it, right? So that's why I tell people don't be afraid to fail, because you have to fail to succeed, right? You literally have to fail to succeed. Failure is a prerequisite for success. It really is. Failure is a prerequisite for success. You can write that down, right? Um, almost everything I've done in my life, I'm talking about my successes, I failed first. Now, people don't see the failure. So they're like, wow, Eric, things just go well for you. Things just go well for you all the time. No. I remember when I wanted to write my book, I didn't know how to write a book. I didn't have any idea how to write a book, right? So I got coaching and I learned. And while I was writing the book, issues came up, right? I had to get somebody else to design the cover because I didn't like it, right? I wanted to put it on Amazon. I realized that you have to format it for Amazon. I had to hire someone to do that, right? When I finished writing the book, I thought, because I'm pretty good at English, I thought I can just, publish it. They're like, no, you need a proofreader, right? So all these things happen. It delayed my book launch for like 6 months, but nobody knows. All people know is I launched the book and it became a bestseller, right? So in life, realize that you will have obstacles and it's normal. Adversity is normal. I tell my kids that all the time. Adversity is normal. One of my sons, my youngest one, he's 11. He plays soccer. He's really good, very, very good, better than I was. Don't tell him that. He won't listen to me anymore. But anyway, he's really, really good. And when he loses, right, and he's really upset, I say to him, you learn more from losing than winning. And he said, what? Dad, what do you mean I learn more from, I want to win? I said, you want to win, but you learn more from losing than winning, because now you see what you can do differently. Your team sees what they can do differently to get better, right? If you want to go to the pros, you have to know how to lose and bounce back. And he says, wow, I never thought about it that way. All right. So that's, again, failing forward, right? Failing forward. All right. And the last one I'm going to talk about is success begets success, right? So here's what I mean by that. Here's what I mean by success begets success. Sometimes we see someone at some level of success and we say to ourselves, we can never get there. Oh my God, like he is just so successful, or she is just so successful. What you don't know is they started at a certain success level, and then they worked harder, then they got to another success level, then they worked harder and then got to another success level, right? So I gave you an example of my book before, right? So it became a bestseller on Amazon. But what if I put ads in there? I started doing a lot of presentations, podcasts, speaking events, and then the book became a New York Times bestseller. Then I sold 100,000, right? Then people are like, wow, he wrote a book and became a New York Times bestseller. They won't know that that's not how I started, right? That's not how I started. So don't be intimidated when you see people that have all this success, because what they did really is they worked hard to get to a certain level. They worked harder to get to the next level. They worked harder to get to the next level, right? If you start a business and you're making, I don't know, 15,000 a year, and you see someone making 500,000 a year, he or she probably didn't start out making 500,000 a year. They could have, not even made any money in the first 5 years. But when you have some success, don't stop there. Work harder to have more. Work harder to have more. And you will see that success begets success. It just gets better and better from there. All right. So, I think we actually have our speaker here. So I'm just going to go out to him just to say a few words. By the way, Samuel Izu is a professional speaker, TEDx speaker, and coach, communication expert, all the way from Nigeria. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Izu Samuel. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. I feel so honored to be here. Like, this is the second time I'm coming on your platform, and it means so much. Like, it makes a statement of, collaboration. And I'd like to just say a little bit about collaboration. And before I delve into that, I'd like to say greetings to every single beautiful soul who can hear my voice and who will still come back later to hear my voice. See, collaboration is the new currency that both leaders and followers and everybody across the globe needs to utilize. So what is collaboration? Collaboration means people with the same level of understanding of what value is all about coming together to shape the world one person at a time, one program at a time. And you can't make anything possible until you utilize the strategy and the value called collaboration. So you see what we're doing here, all the way from the States and Nigeria. We're bringing you this level of value. This is collaboration in action. So if you can hear my voice, the easiest gift you can ever give to yourself. It's not just about talking about yourself, trying to put yourself out, but look for ways to collaborate with people, because one will pursue just a little, but two will surely pursue so many. I just wanted to bring that to your notice. And the second thing I'd like to say is about storytelling, because that has always been my mantra. I like to talk about storytelling all the time. And this morning on Breakfast with Champions, where I moderated one session, I was talking about the 5 fears of storytelling. And one of those fears has to do with if ineffective or less effective of communications, that is public speaking challenges and myths. So if you can hear my voice here, you have a story and you're wondering, I don't really know how to express my thoughts. I don't know how to express my ideologies. The best thing you can ever do is not to box yourself, but to take the decision to develop yourself, because developing yourself also positions you at a point in your life where collaboration can make a meaning. Remember, storytelling depends on effective communications. And effective communications is like the gym. You go to the gym to develop your muscles. You can also get a coach to develop your communication skills, your public speaking skills. And that is why people like Eric F. King, my humble self, and many other people across the globe can help you to sharpen your ability to be able to express yourself to a very reasonable degree. So I just wanted to bring this value to the table at this point. Let me know, Mr. Eric, if you got a question for me, and I'm more than excited to respond. Thank you, and over to you, my friend.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Well, because it took a little while, let me ask a question so, you can share a little bit. Can you share with people that are on here that feel that they're not worthy, or it's not going to happen for them, right? Because a lot of people, I have a lot of clients I'm a sales coach, and people just feel that, maybe it's not for me. Maybe I won't be able to speak like you, or you don't have to speak like me, but like anybody, or I won't be able to express myself or to become world renowned, right? People think it's just so far off. So what would you tell them to let them know that it's possible, and it starts by taking a step? Like, what would you tell them?
The first thing I would say is, if you do not recognize, believe, and own your message, nobody is ever going to believe in what you're saying. So if you want to sound like any other person out there in the world, the first person you must sound like is yourself. And I'm not saying you should just show up the way you are. I believe in refining yourself, because if you meet gold, the gold you put on, if you meet it at the very raw stage, you may not want to invest your money into it. Refining yourself and refining the gold makes the gold what the gold is. So the first thing is to identify what message you have. It could be as simple as your story. When you identify the story you have, that becomes your message. The next thing you need to do is to own your message and to own your voice. I realize that many people, the limitation they have is that they want to sound like some other person. But the only original person that you have to sound like has to be yourself, because people don't want to connect to perfect voices. People want to connect to authentic voices. So become an authentic version of yourself by identifying and accepting the fact that this is who you are. And taking it from that point is going to help a lot of people to connect with you, because Mr. Eric, what I realize is that the world would stand up to listen to someone who is authentic over someone who is struggling to be perfect. Perfection is an illusion, is an endless journey. So for me, I believe that just get to understand your message, which could be your story, and then just own your shine, own your voice, and decide to be the authentic version of yourself. And the final thing I'm going to say is this: please, it is important that you show up. Show up afraid. Show up even doubting, regardless, it doesn't matter how you feel, but ensure that you show up. Do not allow how you feel at the moment to mitigate and stop you from expressing yourself. So just show up regardless. I realize that the more you show up, the more you learn, the more you refine yourself, and the more you get better along your journey of lending your voice. But the most important thing is ensure that the rest of your life is the best of your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Just show up. I mean, that I'm taking so many notes here, and I really appreciate it because, I was saying before you came on that I'm glad that there were some technical issues because it shows people that adversity is normal, right?
Right.
Adversity is normal. And that I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, the platform is not perfect, but we're still here. We're still here, right? Champions don't stop because of adversity. Right? So I really appreciate that. And lastly, can you tell people how to reach you? Because I know people are watching this from all over the world. It's going to be on LinkedIn, YouTube. It's going to stream. It's going to go viral because I'm going to really tell my team to promote this. And I want them to hear you, but I also want them to know how to reach you, either whether they want to watch your videos or they want to get coaching, whatever it is. So what's the best way people can reach you?
Yeah, they can reach me on LinkedIn. They can also check me out on Clubhouse. I'm one of the moderators, like the admins on Breakfast with Champions, one of the leading platforms in Clubhouse with hundreds of thousands of followers. So if you come on there, you will be able to connect with me. On LinkedIn, you will be able to connect with me. On Instagram, my name is Meet Izu Samuel. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you. And feel free to let me know when you connect. Let me know what platform you're coming from. If it's this platform of Eric F. King, also let me know. I'm happy to give you a shout out. Back to you, Mr. Eric.
All right. Thank you so much. So this has been incredible, just an incredible day, incredible morning for me and afternoon for you. We got so much value. So like I said, if you're watching this right now or you're listening to it, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with as many people as you can. Pay it forward. Pay it forward. I do these for free to be able to help you guys and to bring other guests because I love collaboration. I don't believe in competition, like you said. I love collaboration. It's a beautiful thing. All right. So on that note, I will see everybody tomorrow morning for another episode. I wish you all the best and make it a great day. Bye-bye, everybody.